If you've never camped or slept in a hammock, you do not know what you're missing. I'm telling you. One of my favorite hammocks that I've been using exclusively for the last 3 or 4 years is a Hennessey. We're going to take a look at a slightly different model than I've had. It's the Hennessey Jungle Explorer ASIM Zip. Take a closer look at that coming up on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So, you know I like hammocks. I'm a scoutmaster. Most of you do anyway. And my traditional go-to method for sleeping when I'm camping with the Boy Scouts is in a hammock. So for the last 3 or 4 years, I've used exclusively, every time I go camping, with almost maybe 2 or 3 exceptions every camp out, I've used the Hennessey Explorer ASIM hammock. And I really like it. It's got some great features. It's a fully enclosed hammock with a bug net on it, and it's got a rainfly that you can attach or detach. And it's just, I like it. It keeps you off the ground. You know, I'm getting to the age where I don't do well on the ground. My hips hurt. I have another model to show you today, though, without a lot of further rambling. This is the Jungle Explorer ASIM Zip. The folks at Hennessey were kind enough to send me this, along with their double bubble radiant pad. I think I said that right. It's not bubble gum. It's like an insulated pad that goes inside this, and I'll show you that. Set of snake skins, which are, in my opinion, that's like a no-brainer, must-have item. So we'll take a look at all that in just a minute here. So let's get to it. Okay, so I got this thing packed in here. I actually slept in this last night. I was cozy warm in the low 40s to high 30s Fahrenheit temperature here in the North Georgia mountains. It's middle of February, so I packed this back up so I can show it to you exactly how it comes when you get it. Now it's folded up a lot neater than I got it crammed in here. So anyway, no more rambling. This is what comes in the pack when you get it. You're going to have your hammock, which is here. Oh, there's the hammock. We'll set it out of the way now. You also have the rainfly. And these 2 straps, they call them tree huggers. This is what you fasten to the tree, and you tie your support ropes to this. Now, before we get started, one more quick little bit of rambling. There's 2 kind of basic concepts or I guess theories behind setting one of these things up. First way is you set your rain tarp up separately, okay? And then you got a dry spot if it's raining or whatever, you can set your hammock up underneath it. So you can adjust it however you want to, because the rain tarp has guidelines on all 4 corners. The second way, which is the way I do it, well, I'm going to show you, I think for me it works a little better, is you go ahead and set the hammock up first, then you attach the rain tarp to it, and then it's all in one piece. And from that point forward, in the last 4 years, I've never disconnected my hammock from the rainfly. I keep it all as one piece. The magic ingredient in the process is the snake skins, and I'm going to show you those because they take this hammock thing to a whole new level, in my opinion. So let me get you over to a tree. We'll get started, and we'll try to get this thing set up. First thing you want to know, by the way, is you want to find some trees somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 feet apart. If they're too close together, you know they're not going to work, because you got pretty long ropes on this hammock, and we'll take a look at that now. Okay, so I got these trees. I got one here, touching here, and then the one that you can see right there where my finger's touching. Okay, those are the 2 trees that I had it up last night, so I know they work. So that's what we're going to do. They're probably about 20 feet apart, 18 to 20 feet is the best I could pace it off, and they work fine. So let's other thing about these tree huggers, these are about 3-foot ones. So they'll wrap around a tree once or twice, depending on the diameter of the tree. So okay, so before we hang the hammock, when you bought your Hennessey hammock, if you did so like I'm telling you to do right now and get the snake skins, you want to do that first. You want to take the end of the support lines, cords, get your snake skins, which look kind of like a snake. They have a big end and they have a little end. Start on the big end and just thread your line through. Thread your line through like so, until it comes out the little end. Now you take your tree hugger strap, wrap it around the tree, and feed your rope through one loop and then the other. And then what you're going to want to do is just, for now, temporarily, just kind of tie a couple of, maybe loop it back through there a time or 2, and just tie just some kind of a knot that's not going to slip, so which will allow you to go to the other side, and a hole good enough for now. You're not going to put a lot of tension on it, but that'll allow you to go to the other end and do the same thing. Okay, once you got the other end tight, you could probably have to come back to this end and tighten up again, just to try to get your hammock bounced out between the trees. So going to want to do, and there's a special way I want to show you, this special kind of way they recommend tying this thing up. So get it where you want it. I like to keep mine, I like to have the hammock about level, and really where my head's going to be, I like to have it a little bit higher. In this case, the head's going to be on the other end, so I'm going to keep this one just a little bit lower. And then I just pull this thing pretty tight, and slide your snake skin out of the way, and just keep pulling it tight till the ridge line is pretty close to flat, because what's going to happen is, as you sit in it, it's going to sag as you get your weight in it. So pull it kind of tight, pretty tight. And here's the trick, okay? And there are ways you can use rings and stuff. I've heard people talk about to do this a lot faster, but Hennessey recommends not doing that because it puts wear on your ropes, and these things are an integral part of the hammock. So anyway, we've got this thing tight, and I'm just going to hold pressure on it. I'm going to wrap this thing around the rope, the tight part, a full turn around it, okay, like so. So you got it completely wrapped around it, full circle, like so. Then you're going to come down between the straps and the V, right here between the straps, and then come back out, wrap it around a full turn again, which is going to put you coming up this time probably from the bottom. So come through the bottom, back up through here like so, come out, go around the other way, again a full turn again, all the way around, and then come back down through the top. And you're basically going to make like this figure 8. Okay, so you're going to keep making that figure 8 until you're down where you got about a foot left. You come out and make another full turn here, maybe a couple of full turns, and then you want to make a slip knot. Basically, make a loop and just run it back under itself like a bite, like a hitch, and pull it tight where you got about 6 inches here. And what that does, and it's not going to hurt you to do it again, just keeps it from slipping. And that gives you a really solid knot that's not going to slip on you. And then you may want to go back to the other side and tension it up again. But let me show you what we got so far. Okay, so you can see stretched all the way out, pretty tight, but still got not a lot of sagging. You're going to wind up about a foot off the ground there. So we're going to go pull the other end and tighten it up just a little more. Admittedly, this knot is a little bit of a not a quick disconnect, but really once you do this a few times, it becomes kind of second nature, and it really does hold really well. And like I said, I've been doing it for 4 years now. It's not a big deal. I'm going to pull it a little tighter and wrap it around again completely, and we'll go up through the middle. You see, by the way, I've got this strap wrapped around the tree twice because it's a smaller diameter tree. By doing that, it's going to make it a little better to keep it from slipping down the tree as you sit in it, because it really won't slip too much. You do it if you just loop it around like on the other end, it may have a tendency to slip a little bit on you. That's why you keep it under tension, it won't slip. This is going to be the last one, and we're going to take it out and then do a quick wrap around here. And I'll do one more just to be safe. And then that's not going anywhere, and it's good and solid. Before we go any further, I want to show you why this is called an asim. Okay, because it is not symmetrical. You know, it's like a trapezoid. Basically, this is the short side, and this side is longer. And the other side is the opposite. So the long side is here, and the short side is back there, which gives you a larger diagonal place to lay out. Basically, the rainfly is cut the same way, so you got to make sure you match those up. Otherwise, you'll have a corner over here and a corner here. So you want to make sure you match your corners. If it doesn't make sense, it will be readily apparent if you get one of these. It's not rocket science, I promise you. So let's take a look at the rainfly now. Okay, got the rainfly spread out here, kind of laid over, so you can see the corresponding asymmetrical angles here. Now let me show you what I do as far as my rainfly goes. Okay, so on both ends of the hammock, on the support line, there is a prusik knot tied with a little clip on it. And prusik knot allows you to slide up and down when you move it. When you put tension on it laterally, it won't move. So that allows you to adjust tension, basically. It's a good tension adjustment knot. On all 4 corners of the tarp, there are little hooks and there are lines. So what I do is I take the ring on the corner here and I hook the little hook onto it, like so. Now you got a really good solid connection. Now you can adjust the tension on this by sliding this either way. And then I'm just going to actually just go ahead and remove this because it's nothing but in my way. Now if you were not going to connect the tarp to the guy line here, to support line, you're going to hang it separately. You want to leave these on because these are what you hang the tarp to the different trees with. I'm going to take them off because they're just in my way, and I'm not going to use them like that. And I can always put them there. I can always put them back if I want to. Okay, so once you got both ends done, which I've got both ends done now, what you can do is you can look at the distance between the end of your tarp here and the beginning of your hammock tent, which is about right here. You want that to be pretty even, so your tarp will evenly cover, you know, your sleeping part of the hammock. So I think I'm gonna have to slide this one that way just a little bit, go adjust the other end and get them centered. Okay, so now we've got the hammock up pretty tight, and you can see this is the zip side. You can see again the corners obviously offset, and what you want this thing to be is about comfortable sitting height when you set it up. So you always want to unzip the zippers all the way when you first sit in it, so you're not putting tension on them to tear them up. But this is just about perfect for me, so you can see it's about perfect sitting height. So it's going to put me a couple feet off the ground. I might want to make it a little higher, but you can always adjust that. Well, we're going to keep in the camera frame right now, so let me zip these back up. And again, anyway, the next step in the process is to stake out the corners. Okay, and I've got some homemade stakes I made out here. I'll tell you that this line that's on these is stretchable shock cord, elastic shock cord. On my other Hennessey, I actually replaced this with static line that had some reflective qualities to it, some reflective lines, so you could see it at night with a flashlight. But I think that was a mistake. The comfort level seems to be better with the shock cords. Anyway, you can stake these out. You can tie them to a tree or whatever. I'm going to stake mine out. I'm pulling them pretty tight. Okay, so once you've got the hammock staked out pretty well, next step is your rainfly. You got a couple of choices on this. If you think the weather's going to be bad, you can pull it down low and tight, and you can actually even connect these to the same stakes as the tent because you're pretty close to the same. If you're looking for more breeze but just want to keep the sun off maybe, or you want to keep a light rain off, you can raise it up high and tie it up here. Like I said, couple options. Okay, in this case, since we have a tree close by, we're just going to tie it to the tree, and we can bring it high or low. How we want it. You can bring it low, or you can bring it high. We're going to leave it a little bit up so you can see what's going on in here. And we'll just tie it over here like so for now. Okay, one thing that's really cool is they give you really long tie outs in this thing. It's like 5, almost 10 feet or so, and it'll reach a long way. I mean, you can bring it all the way back to here if you want to. You can get this thing really flat. In this case, I'm just going to tie it to a small sapling here. Okay, so this is pretty much the system I've been using for the last 4 years, with just a couple of exceptions. First of all, again, this is the zip model, which has a zipper entry, which zips all the way open. The one I was using had a different entry system. You can check that video if you want to look at that. And this one, the other advantage this one has, main advantage, this has a double bottom. So it's got 2 layers of fabric here, which serves a couple of purposes. Purpose one is it makes it a lot harder for mosquitoes and biting insects to bite you through the fabric. That's one reason for the jungle designation. And it's been proven that mosquitoes can bite through a single layer of hammock fabric. Double layer bottoms are typically much more resistant to insect bites. So in addition to the protection from biting insects the double bottom offers, it also offers you the opportunity to put some insulation material in there. And we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Before we do that, we'll show you the details of the inside of this thing and how everything works here. And then we'll talk about the optional accessories you can buy to take this, make it even better. Okay, you can see this has zippers. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, I've moved the rainfly back just so it's easier for you to see what's going on. It is missing a little bit, we'll be okay. So, got the zipper. They recommend that you open the zipper all the way to prevent it from having, you know, this kind of tension on it when you sit down. So we'll do that. These zippers work very well, by the way, super smooth. Then, if you choose to do so, you can just move this out of the way. You can actually undo the guy line and use this thing for a seat. But then they recommend you sit in a hammock like so. And then once you start to lay back, then you're going to kind of partially close these, because now you've got the tension on it. And the reason you partially close them is so you can get your you can reach the zipper pull when you're laying down And then you want to lay back with your feet on this end, and your head's going to be back towards the this end. And there's a little snap thing here, a little clip that shows you where the corner is. They recommend that be about halfway between your shoulder and your elbow. So you're kind of putting your head up about right here, and then you're laying on a diagonal here with your feet down about right here. And that gives you the maximum distance to lay out in. Let me just show you that. You can pull that down a little more. And I'm getting my hammock all muddy, but you're basically laying like this. It's very comfortable, it really is. And it gives you a lot of room inside here. I want to show you a couple more features here. First of all, look up here, there's a nice little hanging pocket, and it slides around. It's in the kind of, they call this an attic, I guess, or whatever. And it's got two separate pockets in here. I always put my phone up here with an alarm in it so I can wake up in the morning. You got a couple little hooks that hang up on here, just slide around, you can hang gear on. There's another little ring at each end. Something that I always do is just, I'll take my little through night pocket light and just clip it on here. So I got a light to use at night, any kind of light. I usually hang my folding knife up there, whatever. It's also got back here a little elastic loop that you can use to kind of pull the net out of the way if you just want to use this thing like a day hammock or sit in it. So very, very versatile. That's something you cannot do with the traditional entry hammock, the non-zip model. Anyway, just put that back over and zip it up and you're good to go. That's pretty much the basics of the Hennessey Explorer Zip Hammock. Now, I really like this hammock. I really like the zip entry feature. I think it adds a lot of versatility, which is not available on the traditional entry. And for me, personally, it's easier to get in and out of. The other one is tried and true, but I just really like this. I like the fact that you can take it off and use it as a regular hammock or whatever. What I also like about this particular model is that double bottom, because that's been an issue for me. I've tried to make my own under hammock quilt and all that and didn't really do a good job of it. So they actually put a double bottom in here and it's accessible. And for 40 bucks, you can get one of these pads, which is not only made to fit, and it's a pretty good size. You can see this is bigger than me. It's also got these little attachment points on the corners in the correct places to properly orient it underneath the hammock. So let me show you how you do that. Okay, so you got this big pad here. You got to get it underneath here, and they give you a 20-inch opening on this side, a separate opening inside here. The other side has about an 8-inch opening, which is enough for you to reach through. So what you want to do is you take your bubble pad with the label part here that you can see on the top, and you roll it like so, from the small end, from foot end up to the head end. Okay, just roll it up like so. You notice there's a little hook here, right, on the big fat end. And you're just going to stick it in to the 20-inch space, if I can find it. There we go. Stick it into the 20-inch space. Just get it in there like so, and then take the hook. Let me get you close up here. Okay, so you take the hook here, it's on the pad, and inside here there's a little ring. Can you see that little ring right there? Right, it's directly underneath this tab. You hook the hook onto the ring, then just kind of give it a little shove and unroll it, and we'll go the other side. Then this side has an 8-inch opening. You can just reach through there, unroll it the rest of the way, and you're going to find there's a shock cord that hooks to another loop in exactly the same location underneath the tie out. And just clip that on there like so. Kind of spread that out, make sure there's no wrinkles in it or whatever. Okay, now you got a nice pad under here to help keep you warm and toasty, and it really does work, I'm telling you. Okay, so that is some of the features and different things and different available options, I guess, for the my favorite method of shelter sleeping when I'm camping. That's the Hennessey Hammock. This is my new favorite, the Zip model, which I think is even better than the other one. But what I thought we'd do is now I'll show you what really was the icing on the cake as far as I'm concerned, and that's when it's time to break it down. So we've got the hammock up here. We're going to go ahead. I'll probably fast forward this, but I'll tell you the total elapsed time from full setup to full breakdown, and I'll let you know that in editing, but I'm just going to start it now. So there'll probably be some music or something in the background here. Snake skins rock. The mat has a bag too. Okay, so here is the here's the hammock, and here is the mat, and I'll put all the specifications, the size, the weight, all that good stuff down in the description below. I'm out here in the woods. I really just didn't have all the specs with me. It's just extremely versatile. You can hang it up and use it for like a chair, just hang around, sit around in. You can sleep in it. You can do a lot of different stuff with it, and it keeps you dry. And people ask me, "Do you really stay dry in the rain?" I've slept in my Hennessey in a thunderstorm, pouring down rain, sounded like, you know, a war was going on, and everything was fine. I absolutely stayed dry. So I can personally tell you that Hennessey hammocks absolutely work. I've been using one again pretty much every single time I went camping with the Boy Scouts, which is many times a year for the last 4 years straight. This was my first time using the zip model, but it's essentially the same except for the entry, which I like a lot. Highly recommend this double bottom model with the double bubble pad, because it absolutely did a great job. I slept in this again last night. Low 40s, high 30s. I don't know, I was asleep, but I know that's about what the weather says it's got down to. And I had the black bag from the MSS system, and I was just absolutely toasty warm, not even a bit uncomfortable. So I could not have said that before without the thermal pad. That thermal pad, double bubble pad, whatever you want to call it, it really does work. So if you're like me and sleeping on the ground, even with a nice pad, I mean, I've got a pretty decent pad, 1.5 inches, about that thick, I'm just uncomfortable. I sleep on my side, my hips hurt, everything hurts. This allows you to sleep in pretty much any position you want without feeling like that cramped in like a traditional hammock when you sleep diagonally in this ASIM design. Again, I'm absolutely a Hennessey fanboy. I bought one 4 years ago and have not looked back. It's one of the best camping purchases I have ever made. I'm telling you, this thing is absolutely wonderful. I give it the highest rating of approval from Survival on Purpose. So I hope this has been helpful. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing this video with all your friends. And thank you so much for doing all your Amazon shopping through the Survival on Purpose links. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time. And the magic's ingredient. Okay, so this is pretty. Maybe I'll take them off later.